Okay, so my testimony for today, this is something that happened to me years back, and I always wanted to share it because I thought it was so funny and coincidental. We all know that don't really exist, but it was really cool, so I want to share it. This is my skateboarding story. We call it a skateboard story. So I always loved to skateboard since I was little, right? I've always loved to skateboard. I always remember seeing my brother and his friends skateboarding down their neighborhoods, and I remember watching videos. Like there's a time when I was obsessed with it. I mean, I would always watch videos and YouTube channels on skateboarding, how to do this trick, how to do that trick, tournaments, all that stuff. I love everything that had to do with skateboarding, right? And so I remember fantasizing about it a lot. And then one day, this is like maybe 2019, 2020-ish, my brother gave me his skateboard. He had a ton of old skateboards and he gave it to me. So I was like, oh, this is my sign that I can start skateboarding, because I didn't have a skateboard that I could, start skateboarding with. So the moment I got it, I was like, okay, I'm really about to start skateboarding. So I told my parents about it, like, hey guys, like, Josh, oh, sorry, name drop. My brother gave me his skateboard, and I really want to start learning how to skateboard. But then every time I told my parents about it, they'd be like, I don't know. I don't know if that's for you, or like, not even, I don't know if that's for you, because they don't care like that. But it was more so like, they kept saying, I feel like you're not supposed to do that. Or like, they just be like, I don't know why, but I just feel. They would always be like, I don't know why, and I just feel like, no, red light, red light, red light. Something like that. They were not for it. And they said they didn't even know why, but they just felt like I shouldn't do it. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like it's one of those God things. At this time, mind you, I'm not saved. I got saved, I think July or June. I'm so sorry. I really need to learn the date, remember the date. 2020, I think, or 2021. Something around there, for real. And so I was like, oh my gosh, one of those God things, like, God, why are you doing this to me? Like, you're making my parents not want me to skateboard. And so I couldn't I did it. Okay, anyway, so yeah, I was just really upset about that. So really looking back now, after everything has happened, I really think it was just one of those early cases of God testing my obedience and whether I would honor the word of my parents, honor the authority that he's placed in my life, right? I'm writing, for once I did notes, by the way, just for like testimonies that have already happened previously. So, however, I did not follow their leadings, and for once in my entire adolescent life, I snuck out. For once, and that was the only time. It was 2 times, and it was both to learn how to skateboard from an instructor, one of my friends in my high school that was in the neighborhood. And so I was instructed, and I had a good time. Not gonna lie, it was really, really fun. It was really fun. But I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm seeking out, finally doing my little teenage stuff, because for some strange reason, that is the image that is propelled to teenagers. Like I have to do everything rebellious, even though it's like, okay. Anyway, I'm not even gonna go into human behavior development, but there's reasons for that. Anyway, first, that was the first and only time I snuck out. And so this was, once again, around that time. So after that, I think I stopped because, that was during COVID and parents were gone. That was on Wednesdays when they were gone to church, which is even worse. That's the only time I could sneak out. And so, it was around that time. And, but after that, I gotten saved, I think. I can't remember if I gotten saved before then, but I just know that I calmed down and I didn't sneak out anymore. I was like, it's not even worth it, like, whatever. I moved on. So now I had to leave it in the hands of God. Like, I think by this time I gotten saved, I realized, I'm not about to be rebellious against my parents like that. I'm not about to disobey them. I'm not about to do that. Like, it's just not worth it. And so I really left it into the hands of God. Mind you, time and time has passed now, and I get a random dream one night, and basically I remember it was God coming to me in the form of my father, which has happened to me so many times where God is speaking to me, but he comes in the form of my father, like my earthly father, my great wonderful dad, and he speaks to me in the dream. And so we were having like a random conversation, and then all of a sudden he asked me about skateboarding, like, how's skateboarding, or something like that. I'm like, how's skateboarding? Yeah, I can't skateboard. I said something like that in response, and he was like, no, I think it's okay for you to do that now. Or he did something like that. All I know is he asked me about skateboarding, and then he gave me the green light, like, yeah, you can skateboard now. So I was like, that is so weird. And I kind of brushed off the dream for a little bit, but I think a couple days after that, I talked to my parents and my mom about it. I was like, hey, my parents and my mom. I talked to my dad and my mom about it. I was like, hey, I had this dream about skateboarding. I think God's giving me a green light skateboard. And so it's like a veil done came off their head. They're like, yeah, it's fine for you to skateboard now. Like, clearly, like, this is God saying yes. Like, one thing my parents always encouraged me to do was to hear God for myself and seek God for myself, get his answers and his reasons to why I can or cannot do certain things for myself. And so this is one of those cases where, well, it's all come full circle. Kiki's clearly heard from God, and she's able to skateboard now. And so they gave me the green light. I was like, wow, is that easy? Like, it's that easy. I can skateboard now. So they gave me the green light. They even bought me equipment. They bought me protective gear because my mom, of course, my lovely, wonderful mom, she was afraid that I could get hurt or something like that. So I can now officially skateboard, and it was great, but I was too scared now. So now I was actually too scared to skateboard. I had been given the green light. Well, I couldn't do it. I was given the red light. So I went away, did it myself, but then after a while I was like, no, I need to do it right. So I just stopped doing it, waited for God to give me the red light or the green light. God gave me the green light, and now that I've been given the green light, I'm too scared to do it, which is so funny. And so then I talked to God. I was like, God, and this was just like one of those random times, not random, but one of my devotional times in the morning, I think, where I was like, God, I'm too scared to skateboard. I know you've given me the green light to skateboard now, but I'm too scared to. I need you to give me like some type of sign or confirmation, like for real, am I allowed to? Like for real? Because part of me is like, this is too good to be true. Another part of me is like, I don't want to get hurt. So I asked for God to give me some type of assurance, which is not wrong. Okay. So I asked him that, and then I think this happened either that same day or the next day. I'm 99% sure it's the same day. Me and my mom were going out. We're about to go somewhere in the neighborhood, and our neighbors, so we're outside getting into the car, and our neighbor, one of my neighbors on the other side, is like, hey, like, my son used to be really into skateboarding, but like he doesn't do it anymore. I have like 2 or 3 old skateboards that we don't use anymore. Would you want to have them? He's like, I don't know why, but I just, when you hear that, y'all know when you hear that, I don't know why, but I just feel it, like, I'm just like, thank you, God. Like, oh my goodness, it was great. Me and my mom are like, ugh. Like, we're like, what? Because literally, I think that was like maybe 2 or 3 days after they had given me the green light to be able to skateboard. And now it's like, bruh, look at God providing me 3, not more than enough. Come on, somebody. More than enough skateboards to be able to skateboard. Like, it was crazy. It was such an interesting coincidence. We all know that don't exist. And so that was just so cool. Me and mom were like, oh my gosh, yes. Like, she just got into skateboarding, da. And so I still have them right now. One of them is in my dorm as we speak. And do I use them? Not really. Not really. I'm not gonna lie. But the good thing is, I think it was one of those circumstances that where it just goes to show that sometimes the reason is God just wants to test you to see your patience, wants to test you to see if you will honor authority that he's placed in your life, if you will submit to obedience, submit to authority, and obey and things like that, because there might not be a better or a really good reason than that, but he just wants to see your character and test your character. Everybody's character needs to be tested at some point in their walk and in life in general. So I think it was just one of those cases because, yeah, the way everything played out. And of course, I know my mom was also concerned about my safety, but mostly I feel like it was just God, just doing his little thing. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. This is not the only time, but many times you'll find that God will tell you to give something to him, or you'll have to sacrifice something, and then lo and behold, maybe some time later, maybe not at all, but for me, many times I've given something up, and then God gives it back to me and really confirms that he's in it this time. And so it's been really cool seeing that happen throughout the years. And that is my skateboarding story. Yes, it was great. Praise God.